What is chiropractic? For some people, you might have seen videos, you might have talked to friends, you might have been told from an early age, oh, you've got to go see a chiropractor. Or you might have been told from an early age, whatever you do, don't go see a chiropractor. What I'm going to do is really just kind of break down the understanding and explain what it is that we do. To do that, I'm going to use the top 3 conditions that as a chiropractor I see on a daily basis. Number 1 will be back pain of some form. Number 2 typically will be neck pain. Number 3 will be headaches or migraines or some effect of that. Now, essentially as a chiropractor, we work directly with the spinal column. But really what we're doing is we're affecting the nervous system. Now, why is the nervous system so important? The nervous system basically is the master system of your body. It controls everything. It's what's moving my arms right now. It's what's digesting my lunch right now. It allows our bodies to function and heal. Now, to do that, what happens is the brain, which is held in the skull, communicates to the body down the spinal cord, and then above and below, in between these vertebral joints, you have what's known as spinal nerves. They go to all the organs and all the muscles in our body. The brain sends a message down the spinal cord across these nerves, and then that muscle or that organ then talks back to the brain, and that's the communication pathway for the body. Now, unfortunately, with our spine, we tend to kind of thrash it. We tend to abuse it, and unfortunately, what happens typically through some form of trauma, whether it's a major trauma, a car accident, or a major fall, or micro traumas, repetitive actions. But what I'm seeing today is a lot of postural stress that's on there. Now, essentially what happens is when we use our spine in ways that it's not designed, it puts pressure and obstructs the nerves that come out of the spine. And essentially what I mean by that is you've got these little nerve roots. If you've got abnormal stress or pressure on them, it breaks down that communication process. It breaks down that signal from the brain to the muscle or the organ, and then back up to the brain again. Now, essentially as chiropractors, what we're doing is we're not necessarily trying to crack joints or move joints. Essentially what we're doing is we're identifying where those joints have obstructed that nerve, and we're taking pressure off that nerve so then the body can function and heal properly. And so it allows that communication pathway to run uninterrupted. It's kind of like static on a phone line, or when someone grabs a hose and kinks it, the water stops at the other end. Our job as chiropractors is to make sure there's no static in the phone line, is to unkink that hose and allow that water to run fast and free. Now, the easiest way to explain that is you may have heard of someone with lower back pain and they've got sciatica, or they've got pain that runs down their leg. You might have pain all the way to the foot and the toes. You may even have numbness. Now, what that is you've typically got an obstruction of the nerve somewhere in the lumbar spine, somewhere in the lower back through here, where the nerve is obstructed. That's the primary condition. Now, what that does is obstructs that nerve, and wherever that nerve goes, it causes a secondary condition, and that's the numbness or the pain that you get. So as chiropractors, what we're trained to do is identify where is that nerve getting obstructed, taking the pressure off that nerve, and then over time bringing that back towards a normal position. And over time, guess what happens to the secondary symptoms? They gradually just calm down. That communication pathway is open, that nerve can function properly, and the pain, the numbness, the referral down the leg gradually comes down. Now, it's the same thing with neck pain. You might hear of someone with neck pain also has pain in their shoulder, maybe even down their arm. You might find that you're waking up with numbness in your arm. It's the same premise. What's taking place is the nerves that come and leave the spine are obstructed. As chiropractors, we come in, we identify that, and we move that from a normal position back towards a normal position, taking the pressure off the nerve so these secondary symptoms can calm down. And then in the upper spine here, those nerves, the very top two, they travel back up the head. You might feel the headache that builds on during the day. You might feel it radiates up the top. And so when someone says that, I'm going to think, okay, where that's the secondary symptom. What's causing that? What's the primary? Let's identify where that's being obstructed. Let's take the pressure off, and then over time. And so you can see how it's a little bit different to, someone coming in with lower back pain all the way down their leg. I just want to get cracked so the pain goes away my leg, and then I'll be fixed forever. And so, when we're dealing with the spine and the nervous system, it's a very delicate system, and that's why we're thorough. That's why in the first couple of visits, it does take a long time. We do take a long time to find the problem. We take a long time to explain the problem, and then really just communicate that pathway back to better health. So hopefully this builds a bridge around what is chiropractic. It's not just a crack the spine, make lots of noises. We want to help you identify, 1, what's the cause of the problem? 2, how's that affecting you? And 3, how can we correct that problem and teach you how to manage that moving forward?